My name's Chas Bruns. I'm just a goofy guy who loves to travel, and just like you, I want to see as much of the world as I can. The only difference is I happen to be a filmmaker, and I bring my camera pretty much everywhere, which means you're going to get to find out some of the best places in the world to eat, some of the best people in the world to meet,
howdy, partner,
and where to go to have a damn good time. And the best part is, I'm gonna show you how to do it all dirt cheap. This episode is proudly brought to you by Paddy Murphy's Irish Pub in Bangor, Maine. For a taste of Ireland and Maine, make sure to visit Paddy Murphy's. Cue the Irish music. So once again, I'll be traveling with a random group of misfits. Let me introduce them to you. We've got Bobby Brooker and Chris Lovely from Bangor, Maine, Jira Rastana, who was in the Thailand and Bar Harbor episode, Amber Welsh from Vermont, and Justin Levine from New Orleans. We're quite a quirky bunch. We're all part Irish and we all like to drink, so this should be a good episode. But before we start bar hopping, let me show you how to get out of the airport.
So when you land at the airport, there's a variety of ways to get into downtown Dublin, from taxis to trains to buses, but the city bus is $2.50 and it takes you right into the city center. It's cheap as hell. Let's do it.
The bus drops you off right near the Spire of Dublin. It's hard to miss. It's huge. From here, we're going to walk to our hostel, the Avalon House. For a room with 6 beds, it's $18 a night. They've got a pool table with some vending machines, a computer lounge, and lockers to store your stuff. And here's a quick tour of what our messy room looks like. Yes, we're slobs. At least the bathroom's not so bad. And it's 8 in the morning, so we're gonna go get a traditional Irish breakfast at O'Neill's. They've been serving Dublin for over 300 years. Not too shabby. And if your waitress is too slow, they've even got taps on the table. Self-serve, baby.
Hi, Sandra here from O'Neill's in Dublin. We do the cheapest full Irish breakfast around. It comes included with tea or coffee, toast, 2 bacon, 2 sausages, 2 eggs, grilled tomato, grilled mushroom, potato cake and beans. Don't miss out on this, you need to come in here.
This is a ton of food for $7.95. I'm psyched. That's pretty damn good too. So we're gonna eat this traditional Irish breakfast and then go walk around St. Stephen's Green, see what there is to see.
Heading into the park because it's free.
I'm gonna go check out this pond. Beautiful.
St. Stephen's Green is only a few blocks from the hostel. When I travel, I love to go to parks. They don't cost you a dime, and they're always beautiful.
Some things get better with age.
You can take the tram around town for about $2, but we prefer to walk. About a block away from St. Stephen's Green were the Ivy Gardens. But if you don't like the outdoors, check this out.
So one of the coolest parts about Ireland is all the museums are absolutely free. So we're gonna go check out some old paintings.
We got to see a Monet, a Van Gogh, and an Epstein. All for free. All this walking's making me hungry. Time for a cheap lunch at Central.
Sausage, 60 cents.
And I swear on my life, these things are delicious. I could eat them all day. After lunch, we went to check out Dublin Castle. Also free to walk around. I have no idea how they could move, let alone fight in these suits of armor. Tough bastards. Lots of cranky old dudes were carved on this castle. No idea who they were. This is what the courtyard looked like. Quick little tour. And this is what the gardens out back looked like. After the castle, everyone was ready for dinner. Greasy goodness. It was a little busy inside, so we decided to sit in the patio. I got some $4 onion rings. Delish. With a layer of grease lining our stomachs, we figured it was time for some libations. We went to an area known as Temple Bar. It's pretty cool, but it's designed for tourists. But it's still a great time, and there's free music. Justin wanted to take us to one of his favorite spots, Fitzsimmons Rooftop Bar. And in usual Justin fashion, he bought us a round of drinks. It actually tasted great. Time to bar hop. Merchant's Ark Bar and Restaurant. This place had some awesome architecture. Just make sure not to fall off the edge. Time for a beer. And I know traditional Irish music can get a little cheesy after a while, but it sure is fun to drink to. Is it me, or does Justin look like a young George Clooney? I may or may not have told a few girls in the bar that he was his brother, but I don't think they bought it. Next up was the Oliver St. John Gogarty. And I know what you're thinking. We're going to an awful lot of bars. But that's what you do in Ireland. It's a culture of drinking. James Joyce once wrote, "A good puzzle would be to cross Dublin without passing a pub." Good luck with that. I'll probably go in the first one I see.
I'm from Wales, and I'm in this lovely bar, and I'm enjoying Guinness.
And we were enjoying it too, but the cheapest beer in that place was $6, so we were moving on. Next up, the George. Either the clientele's really friendly here, or this is a gay bar. Maybe both. In any case, great place to dance. And I can't afford to license the dance hits they play here, so you get to watch them dance to traditional Irish folk music. Hilarious. But to be honest, it actually kind of works. These guys got it going on. Oh yeah. The Irish can dance to just about anything. After all this booze, it's time for a late night snack.
Getting garlic cheese fries, because it's my favorite thing in Ireland.
Oh my god, this is so good! It's so good!
I think it's safe to say that Jira really liked it. After eating, I tried to drunk climb a building and failed miserably. At that point, we decided to call it a night. Then I made them do this on camera. I'm so cheesy.
Today we were at the Cliffs of Moher and we really enjoyed it.
It was amazing.
Now we enjoyed some Guinness. It's a good night, good and nice.
Ireland is amazing.
Yay!
I think I'll take their advice. In the morning, I'm headed to the Cliffs of Moher.
Breakfast time, $3 yogurt and granola. Going to see the Cliffs of Moher.
Taking the Darby O'Gill tour. It's a few-hour drive through the Irish countryside. This is the golf course that Donald Trump owns, but it's definitely not dirt cheap. Eventually, they drop you off here, the Cliffs of Moher.
So we've made it to the Cliffs of Moher, and we're here in April, so it's pretty damn cold. But in the summer months, it's actually really packed, so it's kind of fun to come this time of year because there's a lot less tourists. As you can see behind me, it's about 700 feet down. Somebody, we were told, died here last Sunday. So don't go over the barricades. They actually have park rangers that'll yell at you if you do. And honestly, the view is just as good here. There's no reason to risk it. But you can see seagulls and puffins are nesting. It's actually a calm day on the ocean. We might go for a boat ride next. And what more could you ask for? It's great.
We then paid $2 to go to the top of the tower. It was worth it. For lunch, we went to Fitzpatrick's Bar. Got the veggie soup for $5. After lunch, I found a donkey. He was hungry, so I fed him. I think we became friends. Now it's time for a Cliffs of Moher cruise for $15. If you're going on the boat cruise, bring some rain gear, because it can get wet quick. But that's all part of the fun. You're cruising by the Cliffs of Moher. Danger, adventure, haha. And for those Harry Potter fans, here's the cave from the movie.
An awesome time. It was a little wet. The $15 of this tour is totally worth it. Love Ireland.
After the boat cruise, we drove around the countryside and took some photos. When we got back to Dublin, we ate at Mexico to Rome. I got a salad, chips, and a margarita for $9. After a couple of drinks, we called it a day and headed back to the hostel. I was ready for bed. I forgot to mention that breakfast is free at the hostel. It's not gourmet, but it'll fill your belly. And now it's time for some Irish facts. The population of Ireland is 6.6 million people. On average, each one of them drinks 445 pints of beer a year. And the Irish are also known for creating Halloween. Bobby's such a punk, but I'll get her back. Today we're going to County Wicklow. It's a little south of Dublin. Here's a map so you can see where we've been so far. Our first stop in County Wicklow is a little coffee shop at Glencree. So if you missed the free breakfast at the hostel, you can always grab a coffee and a croissant here. We decided to sit outside. Not a bad view. Glencree is known for transforming the minds of troubled children involved in violent conflict around the world. Functioning as somewhat of a summer camp for children on both sides of the conflict, they have been instrumental in ending the violence in Ireland as well as peace talks in Palestine and Israel. And I can see why. It's beautiful here. After coffee, we drove on the bus to the mountains where they shot scenes from Braveheart. Miles and miles of nothing. Well, not completely nothing. The boglands are covered in this stuff. Mostly peat moss.
So this is actually the bridge where they shot the movie P.S. I Love You. It's kind of a funny juxtaposition because just over the top of the hill there, they actually filmed scenes from Braveheart, and they also shoot war scenes from the TV show Vikings. So whatever floats your boat, if you want to come propose to your girlfriend, do it here. If you want to cut somebody's head off, do it up over the hill.
Speaking of cutting somebody's head off, here's Guinness Lake. This is where they film Vikings. Is Floki building boats down there? Nope, just some dudes in a grip truck. Up next was a walk through Glendalough, which means Valley of the Two Lakes. After about a 5-minute walk, you end up at St. Kevin's Church. Despite multiple Viking raids, it was still in pretty good shape. Considering the harsh weather, it's held up pretty well. Even the tombstones were still standing. This bell tower was used to summon monks to prayer, but also doubled as a good place to hide from Vikings. This cathedral was built in the 11th century. It's old. A short walk from the church was Lower Lake. I've got a feeling if leprechauns exist, they probably live around this area. I'm not sure if water gets any fresher than this. Just when we got to Upper Lake, it started to rain.
Foggy and rainy off and on, but this is awesome. Kind of reminds me of Maine, to be honest. It looks like a lot of the lakes back where I grew up, but couldn't ask for a better day.
On the walk back, we saw some baby lambs and this view.
I absolutely loved Ireland. It's well worth the money, and I would come back in a heartbeat.
Now we're in the Avoca Village and it's time for lunch at Fitzgerald's.
After a long day of hiking, I'm ready for some vegetable soup with some bread and butter for $6.
We told our tour guide we liked to drink, so he suggested this.
And of course, if you like the whiskey, you can also go to Jameson. That's our great Irish whiskey, and they have an excellent tour in the distillery.
We'll definitely add that to the list. Speaking of alcohol, once we got back to Dublin, it was time to drink. But before embarking on a booze marathon, we thought it best to eat some pizza. Apache pizza, to be exact. First up was the Mez. They had a beer and a shot for $5. And so began our night of debauchery. Next up was Garage Bar. Just about a round of whiskeys, but you can get a beer for $4.60. And just like that, we're off to the next pub. Can't stay at any one place too long. And sometimes the streets can be just as fun. Now we're headed to the old storehouse. This place is pretty big. It's got a lot of different rooms. Here's a quick tour. They've got live music, and although it's a large place, everything is connected, even if it's just by a window. Justin got me another shot, and I got a beer for $5.80. And the bartender was nice enough to let Chris pour her own pint. And if you want her to pour you a pint, visit her at Mason's Brewing Company in Brewer, Maine. It's wicked good. We even found a chick that spoke Gaelic. Translation?
Yeah. What kind of idiot are you?
So when I came to Ireland, I thought that's going to be the same thing back at home. But no, it's not. People are very friendly. People are very helpful. There's more than enough bars for you to have fun. And it's very informative. There's so much history, and it's just I will come back here over and over again. Definitely.
I love the beer in Ireland. It's great. We love Ireland!
Me too!
Okay, we don't need any more alcohol. Time for some food. Temple Takeout. They got all kinds of greasy stuff.
Oh, we are in the Temple Takeout. Amazing. We are enjoying it. And high five, man! High five! High five! High five! Fucking enjoying it. My name is Go.
And just like that, it was time for bed. We're all hungover, but luckily we can sleep on the bus ride. We're headed north with Irish Day Tours. We're making a stop in Belfast and we're going to check out a bunch of historic sites.
So we're here at our first stop. This is known as the King's Road from the Game of Thrones. So if you're a fan, you're going to want to come check it out. I believe it's called the Dark Hedges in real life.
It's rainy and no leaves in April, so you might want to come in the summer.
Justin, is it raining?
It surely is.
Let's be honest, it rains pretty much every day in Ireland. But look, 10 minutes later, it's beautiful and sunny. We're now on a short hike to the Carrick-a-Rede Bridge. It takes about 15 minutes and then you get in line to cross the bridge. For some reason the way over was easy. It was the way back that scared the hell out of me. But you'll only live once, and the best part about doing it the first time is you don't have to do it a second time unless you want to. Once your stomach settles, head over to the Giant's Barn Cafe for lunch.
So the cheapest thing here is $5 for a leek and potato soup, but I'm starving, so I want the Guinness pie, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to love it.
Definitely a fan of the tour. We've gotten to see some really cool stuff so far, and I'm really excited to see the Causeway.
The tour bus drops you off about 15 minutes from the Giant's Causeway, but it's a beautiful walk. The Causeway is about 40,000 interlocking basalt columns. Irish folklore claims they were put here by a giant, but they're more than likely the bizarre result of an ancient volcanic eruption about 60 million years ago. As the lava cooled, it formed these strange geometric shapes. Some of these things are huge, and look at the edges on them. Razor sharp. Let's be honest here. I think it's safe to say this is the work of ancient aliens. Regardless how they got here, they're fun to climb on. This is the view from the top. On the way to Belfast, we stopped by Dunluce Castle, but just long enough to take a couple photos. When you get into Belfast, they give you about an hour to walk around. We decided to grab a beer. The Crown Liquor Saloon. It's almost always a full house, but it's worth it. The architecture is insane.
So this is our first time in this bar. The aesthetics in here are completely different from wherever we've been anywhere else. It's amazing.
The stained glass and the lanterns are nice.
Yeah, gas lanterns, yeah.
I was definitely a fan. Time for a beer. Please don't judge us. We're on vacation. Our livers can heal when we get home. Chris gives her thumb of approval. Time for dinner at Boojum Mexican Burrito Bar.
So everything's cheaper when you go vegetarian. My burrito was $5.25.
I got chips and salsa for $2.35. Great end to a great day. Dublin's a walking town, so we're gonna walk around and see what free things we can find. Trinity College is free to walk around and actually pretty cool. Now I don't know if this is true, so don't go killing any gray squirrels, but a tour guide told us they're an invasive species and if you take their tail to City Hall they'll give you $5. Next up was Christ Church, free to walk around outside. But who's got time for church? We're going shopping at the Market Arcade. There's a ton of stalls in here, so you never know what you might find. Nothing caught my attention, but Amber found some rings.
I just got 2 Celtic knot rings for $30 total, and they're sterling silver for only 15 euros. Where can you go wrong with that?
We're here in the Market Arcade, and they have this lovely piercing shop, and I just got 2 piercings for €25.
That all sounds a little bit rich for my blood, but the girls swore they were good deals. While they were shopping, I filmed these Irish women doing a dance, but we couldn't join in. We had a reservation at the Jameson Distillery. Anyone who knows me knows I drink Jameson. I'm in heaven. You can get a whiskey on the rocks for $5 or something upscale for 10. To get a tour of the distillery, which includes some free tasting samples, it's $18. A tour with free whiskey? Count me in. Look at those sexy whiskey legs. Oh yeah, you also get a free whiskey ginger on your way out. Sweet deal. Time for lunch at the Brazen Head, Ireland's oldest pub. 819 years old to be exact. Imagine the shit that's gone on here. Their Irish stew was out of this world, but the mushroom soup was damn good too. And the bartender was nice enough to fill my Guinness with a GoPro in the glass. Pretty cool footage from the oldest pub in Ireland. Magical. Best Guinness I had the whole trip. The sun just came out, so we're going for a walk in Pheonix Park. It's over 7 miles long, so we're just going to show you a small portion of it. Oh yeah, it's free. Who doesn't love flowers? This park is awesome. Just don't try to touch the wildlife like this idiot. She might look beautiful, but that beak has some power. Almost lost a finger. I was gonna push her in, but I was fairly sure she'd take me down with her, so I just filmed the pond instead. What's that there in the distance? A monolith? I'm gonna have to climb it.
Ooh, look at you!
I swear it's harder than it looks. I gave up after the first tier. I don't know how she did it, but Chris talked us into getting tattoos.
Great price, €80. That's it.
Amber and Chris each got Celtic symbols, and Bobby got some paw prints for her dogs. I've already got the state of Maine on my arm, so I decided to get a star for my hometown. Good old Bangor. We placed it a little high on the map, but I love the whole greater Bangor area, so I'm cool with it.
Cruise is amazing, man. You're gonna have a great time. Sorry for cursing. You're gonna have to beat that out.
We took Connor's advice and went to the Canal Boat Restaurant. $47 a person gets you a 3-course meal. It's a little pricey, but I always splurge once a vacation. And we're on a fancy-ass boat. And in our defense, we actually researched this a lot. This is by far the cheapest dinner cruise in Dublin. And they give you full reign of the boat, so feel free to grab a cocktail and scope out the views.
This is the Canal Boat Restaurant. It's the cheapest boat cruise that we could find in Dublin. $5 Jameson. The dinner's included. I'd say it's a pretty good deal.
The boat takes you through a series of locks, sort of like the Panama Canal. And who doesn't like hanging out with ducks? You also get to go under some cool tunnels. Started the night out with some smoked salmon tartare. Don't we look so cultured and fancy? Everything's cooked fresh on the boat. Delicious. And in between each course, feel free to go back outside. I love all these old stone bridges. Amazing. Next course had arrived. I got the pan-fried fish of the day, and Amber had the roast beef. For dessert, I had the Irish liqueur cheesecake. Definitely hitting up the gym when I get home. Jared got the chocolate brownie, but he doesn't really put on any weight or show any signs of aging. He'll probably live forever. Little bastard. He can also drink me under the table. I think he's an alien. Well, this is the end of our trip. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, you can do this too.
Riding along in my little red Firebird, elbow out the window and smokes in my sleeve. Riding along in my little red Firebird, easy. Riding along in my little red Firebird, cruising the city and mean streets, feeling the night air cool and breezy. rattle my windows and growl the 450 all the way to the west side. Sending up smoke signals and running the boys to the back streets. Riding the Firebird so fast the street lights meet the dawn.